I'm gonna share, okay?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna go on mute from now on. Please don't talk.
The most significant underlying change in our industry since probably about 100 years ago.
Innovation is driving growth in the food industry.
This is literally the industry that sustains all of us.
The experience working with Plug and Play is just tremendous.
The energy here is not really describable because you have to be here to live it.
There's never been a more exciting time for innovation. You could essentially outsource your external innovation to Plug and Play.
The event is fantastic. It's a way where we really can connect people from different backgrounds, different places, where you get insights in each single conversation that you have.
Plug and Play is really unique as an accelerator because of the wide variety of companies that are interesting to a company like the Coca-Cola Company.
The startups are getting better every batch that we see, really diving into the areas that we're looking for.
We really love working with Plug and Play because of the quality and quantity of startups that we get to see, as well as an opportunity to engage with other corporate partners around how to drive innovation, particularly how to work externally in a broader way.
From both sides, the portfolio of corporates and startups are so vast. It's an incredible high-energy environment.
My co-founder and I both have been absolutely thrilled with Plug and Play. An absolute incredible diversity in technology.
We've had real business come out of this. We've talked to Coke, Pepsi, Colgate. We're signing agreements and we're moving forward.
The curation of the companies that come to us is excellent. Seeing the best in class that the startups are doing here and seeing how creatively we can incorporate that within our separate lines of business, push our revenues, it has me personally excited.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the graduation day for Batch 7 of our Silicon Valley Food Program. My name is Brian. I am the Global Director of the Food Program here at Plug and Play. So as many of you know, Plug and Play is the largest technology platform in the world. We invest in over 200 companies each year and run accelerators on behalf of the world's leading corporations across 16 different industries. This is our first virtual summit, so I hope everyone enjoys it. So on today's agenda, we will be going till 2:30 Pacific time, and we'll be showcasing 15 startups graduating from our program. But before we get to the main event, I will provide a brief overview of our program, announce the Corporate Innovation Award, and our keynote speaker. So for the full agenda and list of all the startups participating in our Spring Summit, please go to the webpage here. While our food portion is, of course, our favorite, we do have several other programs graduating this week, and you may be interested to meet some of these other corporations, some of these other companies participating in the Plug and Play platform. So for the startups pitching today, we'll be providing 4 minutes for the pitch and leave 2 minutes for live questions and answers. Yuki will be administrating the startup introductions, and Michelle will administer the Q&A portion. If you have any questions, please submit this via the Q&A box at the bottom of your Zoom window, and we will try to get to your question. We only have 2 minutes for Q&A, so please submit your questions early if you'd like to have them answered. We'll also prompt you at the end of each pitch with an option to be connected to that startup. So if you don't get your question answered, there is still a chance. We will also be recording the session, so if you want to see anything again, we will be able to share this recording afterwards. So on the left-hand side here, you'll see the startups that are graduating today. We chose these startups based on the votes of our corporate partners on the right. At the beginning of each batch, we have a board meeting with all the program's anchor partners to go over the program direction and technology focus areas. Based on this information, we build our elite list of startups that our anchor partners then vote on. The highest ranked startups from our elite list then join our selection day event, where they have an opportunity to pitch our partners in person for a chance to join our program. So after this last step in our filtration process, our partners select 15 startups to join our program. And these startups on the left-hand side here are the ones that were selected, and they started the program on February 5th. And these companies represent the varied technology interests of our partners. 5 of these companies are the ingredient innovation space. 4 are in biotech / microbiome. We have 2 in data analytics, 2 in ag tech, 1 in water tech, and 1 in supply chain. So all these companies participated in our 3-month accelerator program, where we connected them with investors. Actually, if you go back a slide, so they, if you can actually go back a slide, sorry. So we connected them with investors, mentors, and relevant corporations through a variety of sessions. Due to this virus, this batch participated almost entirely virtually. So we had our first virtual focus week, deep dive sessions, and speed networking, which ended up being very successful. So the brands you see on the right-hand side, those are the corporate partners of the food program. And these are really the companies that make our accelerator possible. The corporate innovation world is not easy. Our champions in each one of these companies has a small budget, an even smaller team responsible for changing the way thousands of people have been doing their business for sometimes centuries. So thank you to all the dedicated team members that have been building out best practices, working with the startup community, and providing our entrepreneurs an opportunity to make their dreams come true. So with this crisis, we did have a lot of changes and had to move everything virtual. So we're all very thankful and impressed by the continued engagement from these partners through this crisis. So we want to thank everyone for being so flexible. I'd like to also point out a couple of these partners that have been particularly inspiring to us. DuPont, of course, has been particularly fascinating to work with. We've learned so much from their team. So big shout out to Frank and Mo for getting the relationship going, and Tony Butler for bringing it back to life. Also, our longstanding partners, Izaki Glico, Ajinomoto, Pepsi, for being with us for over 3 years. And for Chicago, we really want to point out Pepsi and Tyson. You guys really inspired us to get this started, and particularly thank you, Samir and Many, for pushing us to make this happen. I'd also like to thank Mondelez, Tetra Pak, Hershey's, Smithfield, and our newest partner, Ocean Spray, for supporting us in this move. Lastly, I'd like to thank Red Bull for hosting us in your amazing US headquarters in Santa Monica earlier this year. We had a really great time. So with that being said, we look forward to seeing everyone in person again once this whole crisis is over. So the goal of our program is to identify the most pressing technology challenges in our industry as dictated by the largest food companies in the world. And then our job is to really bring together the startups that solve these challenges. So our program aims to showcase innovation across the across the food value chain. So we start our search in field, where we look at seed genetics, crop protection, farm connectivity, animal health, and animal feed technologies. For our food processors, we are then constantly sourcing new automation, food safety, packaging, and ingredient technologies. And we are particularly focused on new sweeteners, proteins, and microbiome technologies. So if you do have a startup that addresses one of these categories, this is where our program is particularly well suited. Next, we go on supply chain. We really look at a lot of last mile deliveries. And actually, if you can, sorry, go back to the last slide. On the supply chain side, we look for a lot of last mile delivery solutions, real-time asset tracking and shelf life extension technologies. And then we also get to the in-store portion, where we look at new ways to understand consumers, predict trends, and adjust to a world that is increasingly virtual. So the most valuable resource we do offer to our corporate partners is the deal flow. So this is where we take their technology challenges, then match them up with the startups that can provide the solution. So if you'd like to learn more about how we run these sessions and make these introductions, please reach out to our team and we can walk you through this. So here you can see how our program has evolved over time. When we started the program, we took some guesses at what our partners wanted to see. As we learned more from our partners, the program evolved towards more B2B startup solutions. And as our corporate partners evolved, along with the outside world, new trends emerged. For example, in 2018, you might recall the E. coli outbreak. This is where 150 people were affected in 29 states. This caused our partners to look closer at new food safety solutions. And if you look at our most recent batch, really scalable ingredient technologies have been the focus, particularly plant-based or fermented technologies that can reach industrial scale. So today we have the coronavirus. So the question becomes, what innovations will this spur? Plug and Play runs over 30 offices globally. Each one of these offices has its own team and dedicated corporate partners that really dictates the technology focus areas for each program. So our food program started in 2017 in Silicon Valley and has since expanded to 4 locations internationally. Each location has their own accelerator and sources their own startups and makes investments in these companies. So last year we expanded to Milan, Italy, as well as Sao Paulo, Brazil. This year we opened up Plug and Play North Dakota. Our goal for the next 12 months is to launch several other offices. You can see here on our radar is China, Zurich, Thailand, Tokyo, and my favorite, Chicago. So in March, we launched our second program in the States, Plug and Play North Dakota. On the bottom right, you can see the corporations that helped launch this program: CHS, Microsoft, Bremer Bank, and OCP Group. The focus of this program is agriculture. We partner with several groups, including Emerging Prairie, to help create a fully autonomous farm by 2025. In the middle, you can see our founding partners alongside our CEO, Saeed Hamidi, as well as the governor of North Dakota, Doug Burgum. So the selection day for our first batch in Fargo will be held virtually on May 27th. So please reach out if you'd like to learn more about this program. So Chicago is the project that I am most excited about at the moment. This past February, we had a board meeting with all the corporate partners in our food program. This is where we discuss program direction, technology focus areas, international expansion opportunities. So Chicago became the main focus of the discussion, and we weren't really given much of a choice. So in Chicago, there are over 130,000 people across 4,500 companies operating in food manufacturing. So it became clear that this is the hub in the United States for food manufacturing and a place we need to be. So our first event in Chicago will be on May 21st. So this will be where our founding members of this office will get together and meet one another, discuss technology focused areas, and learn about the structure of the program. Our physical launch will be on September 1st. So if you'd like to learn more or join us for this event, please reach out to our team and we'll get you information and get you registered for the event. Lastly, I'd like to briefly talk about Thailand. We're really excited about this opportunity to expand to Bangkok. So on July 29th, we will host our launch event where we will showcase a variety of startups focused on precision farming, indoor agriculture, and novel biotech ingredient solutions. So please reach out to our team if you'd like to learn more or register for this event. Okay, so a plug and play tradition is to award those corporations who have been exceptionally engaged with our startups and successful in external innovation. So this accolade is the result of our aggregate metrics, including the number of interactions a corporation has with the startup, the number of pilots or POCs that are run, and the number of investments. So the winner today has been a partner with Plug and Play since June of last year, and has already established 9 pilots and is considering 4 investments. So the winner today is Trident. So yeah, please give a big virtual round of applause for Trident. The Food and Beverage Board has unanimously voted to award Trident with the Corporate Innovation Award for Spring Summit of 2020. So Trident is the first Brazilian company to win this award, and we are very happy to see that LATAM is raising the bar through innovation. So Trident is the investment office of the Nishimura family, and through their subsidiaries have a strong commitment to social responsibility. We've been very excited working with this group, and it's been really amazing seeing the amount of traction that's happened in such a short period of time. So our keynote speaker and representative from Trident is Marcio Santos. He is the executive managing director for Trident. Marcio is the relentless, curious ambassador behind the Nishimura group of companies and their leaders. He has been our champion at Trident since we began our relationship, and is the reason why it has become so successful. So thank you to all the directors of all the BUs who have put their time and effort to test these new technologies. Now, Marcio, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. hope you all are doing well and healthy in your lives. I'm Márcio Santos. I'm managing partner for Trident, and I'm here to thank you. Thank you for this award. It's something for us. Awarded by Plug and Play as Innovation Award, with Innovation Award, it's something big, especially for us. We just joined Plug and Play. It's been 10 months, something like that. And we arrived here to learn. That's we decided to join Plug and Play to learn. And here we are. So we're really proud. We're very happy and still surprised, actually, but very glad with it. And for that, we say thank you very much. It was really good to have it. And in particular, we have to say that, especially me, what I have to say is it's good to be here to receive this award, but I have to say that I don't own it. It's teamwork. It's not one person job, it's teamwork. In particular, I have to say the Jacto Group team did quite a lot. Trident is the investment brand for family ops, and the family ops is owned by the same shareholders that Jacto Group, which is a private company. And we work together. I'm just do the investment side. And it's really exciting what they did, because if we could do what we did, is because they worked hard. They are the ones that did the real job. I tried to facilitate a few things and build some bridges where were required and stepped aside when required as well. But these people did the hard work, selecting the topic that we're going to cover, helping to choose the startups, running the proof of concept, doing the things that are required in this process. And we brought together a number of people. We have traveled here a number of times, different groups, trying to address different things. So it was really hard work. So these people did quite a lot, and they are the winners because they did the hard work in here. And that said, I also have to recognize that Plug and Play did great. We arrived here to learn, as I said, and these people, they joined this project with us. They, for every question which I raised, they were restless. They were there to go after, to find a better answer. And in a number of cases, I can say they did even more, because that number of cases it was not the best question, but they were there to carefully listen to us and to help, to guide us to this learning process, to expose us to things that would give us room to think and to maybe to rephrase the question or even to put it aside. So it was really a good thing to have. So they also did that. They are the winners as well. They did great. And especially that I can also say is that they did all that with a smile. And that's another important thing. They were here working, sometimes hard, but with a smile, always looking to our need, to the team need, and they was always there. Text message, email, call, whatever, anytime, they were there. So it was really great to work with these people. Learned quite a lot. There's a lot that I still don't know, but we did great. So thank you very much. It was really good, and it's really an honor to be recognized with the award. So for that, thank you. So thanks a lot. I'm going to tell you a little bit also about Trident, who we are, and I have a few things to share. I try to pick this graphic to say, I don't know for sure if we are explorers or builders, but what I can say is that we are something in between both, and we have the two things. We have initiatives that are the explorer side and the builder side, and these are in there. We are much of the explorer. We have these in our lives, in our background, and we are also builders. We are always trying to build something. We are working to get these things. And one thing that also comes with it, how we build these things, how we explore. And I was here, I was in San Francisco, maybe September, I believe, or I'm not sure. And during one of these events, Megan from Panasonic gave a fantastic presentation. If you have the chance to look at this, it's really good. And she shared a lot of things. And I stopped with her for a couple minutes. And she gave me this sentence: support people during the transformation journey. And I took that because that's pretty much what we believe we need to do. That's pretty much my job. This is what I need to do to support the people. And then the organization goes with it. So this is pretty much who we are. We are a small investment firm. We have a few things that I'll share with you, but for now, I want to first share about Jacto Group, which actually Trident was created to support Jacto Group executives. We created that because we knew that we needed to take some risks, but the family and the executives were kind of concerned on how to join this new world and kind of do not get exposed. How can you get the good sides of the two worlds together? So Trident were creating this environment to cooperate. So Trident is apart from Jacto Group in terms of capital. We are completely independent. We are at the family outside, and Jacto Group is one of the assets of the family. And it's 7 years old company, has a strong reputation, footprints in agriculture, logistics, medical, and strong industrial capability. And there was one thing that was kind of inside everybody, and one sentence that was in our table. And one of the statements was, if someone is going to jeopardize our business, it has to be us. And this is the environment where Trident were created. I had to talk about Trident. I had to talk a little bit about Jacto Group. And that's why we were created and we work together in a number of ways in cooperation. And Jacto, for you to know, have especially sprayers. You can go from a backpack to all-propel equipment. We have a lot of these number of products in this product line. You can go through logistics, medical equipments, packing, and we serve customers, a number of customers in agriculture, in automobile, in medical devices, and also have a cleaning division in a few other small business. But it's a well-known company in Brazil. We have brands also here in US, in Thailand, in Argentina, and we have a footprint around. And it's a strong company, and we're trying to build this bridge from this industrial to what's going to be in the near future. Trident then was created, and then we start with a regular venture capital. We raised a fund from the family. We put some funds. The idea with this fund was to generate some leads of startups, initiatives that could go together. And plug and play. Plug and play is a special piece in this, actually very special, because some funds we just put because we knew that we needed to learn from them. But we want to go straight to deal with startups and get into this open innovation world And we early in the search, we learned that plug and play was the best way for us to get into it. And we set up a target. We wanted to expand service for customers, for non-customers, and expand the family portfolio. And getting into joining plug and play would be a way where we could be exposed to those ones that matter. It's really hard to look for startups to do the search. Is something difficult. But if you have a company that has this background to help you, to support you, it goes faster. And this is just what happened to us. We worked, we put our time, and plug and play put their time as well. So together we could do quite a lot. And here are some of the numbers. And we did do flows here in San Francisco, and also a virtual one. We're supposed to go to Europe. They introduced us to a number of companies formally through the platforms, but a number of other introductions that were made when we went to dinner and other meetings, and a number of people that we discussed. And from these collection, deal flows and introductions, we run 9 pilots. We picked some 9 projects that we found were very synergical to the things that we are doing, or at least were things that we were expecting to find. And to achieve this and run this, we have had the BUs involved. 4 of the BUs were involved to do this. And nowadays, we still have 5 pilots running. Actually, some are even a second pilot with the same company that we are doing. And we did quite a lot in this process. And there are some other companies that we are continued evaluation. It takes more time. We like to look sometimes very close, depending on the things they are doing. So have some that are still over evaluation. Some of these are already with the agreement term on the table. We have this discussion to the investment. I believe nearly all will be signed. Just a matter of finding just nothing complex. And from this experience, what I can say is that it's an ambassador job. A number of things that we don't know, several, and requires a lot of diplomatic skills, the clear goal. When I say about diplomatic skills, meaning that you have to have clear what you want, and you have to know and understand, put yourself in the other shoes. You gotta be there. We like to go close to visit the company, to talk to the customer. I like to do that, and most of the people that I work with like to do that. And it requires quite a lot. We really need to go there. We need to be there, to think, to consider, to learn, to put yourself in that project if you really want to do this. And this is what we try to do. And from this process, I think I picked 4 of the things that I believe are the most important for us. And first one is to get exposed to other contexts and put yourself into their shoes, which I just said. It's important. Sometimes our mindset, some metrics, corporate metrics, they define some boundaries, but these boundaries are not actually there. It's kind of like that we have in mind. So when you put yourself into all the shoes, when you just go to the field, listen carefully, pay attention to what people are saying, why, and you meet with them, you start learning, because there's some more ways to see things, and you take the challenge to go there. So this is important to do. Put time on it. Put in the other side. Put time to it. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. Try to see his point of view. And sometimes they don't know things you know. but they know things that we don't know. So that's something really important to take the time to listen. Sometimes it's hard to put a question, but put a question, listen. And I like to sometimes to have a pillow between one statement and the other and have one night. Listen, just leave it. Do not question it. Take it. Put it inside and let it kind of cook a little bit inside of you. And then you come back. Give some time. Listen, cook it. Then you come back with maybe more question, more investigative. Because at the very end, you are here to learn. We're here to learn. So this is one topic. Another aspect, important aspect, are the metrics. Challenge your metrics. Sometimes metrics are really odd. They distort the things in a sense that you just get blind. You need to challenge the metrics, internal metrics. Sometimes what we really need is to put some metrics aside and pay attention, because the metrics are creating a bias that you do not want. If you look carefully, you can have the opportunity to see new things that are really important today. So challenge your metrics. I was really surprised with some things that I learned over the past year. And last one, but not least, people and project, you take the risk, learn from it. You gotta move. Do not just get analyzing these things. There are things that you just can't do. Just like making valuation of a startup, it's a challenge. You can invite maybe 100 of experts to make an evaluation of a startup. So I doubt that they will even get close on what's going to be the reality. So do some investigation. It's really important to do. But have a discussion with the entrepreneur. Learn with him. Talk to him. You don't need much money. Put some initial investment. Start with this project and learn from it. Take the risk. You're going to learn so much that you're going to be impressed. Start small. The point is not how much money you put on it. The point is how fast you go. That's the really point. And that's why I leave for you this statement. Do not despise the small beginnings. You can start small, but you can reach really, really big things if you just move fast in this process. This is what I want to share with you. Again, thank you very much for the prize. We are really proud of the part of Plug and Play team. And here we are. If you want to reach me anytime, just let me know. I have a mobile, I have my phone, or talk to anybody from Plug and Play. They can get me. Thank you very much. Have a nice afternoon and evening. And give me your questions. I'll be here for new questions if you want. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marcio, for that insightful speech and for recognizing the importance of external innovation and taking the initiative to be our thought leaders today. We truly appreciate the energy your team has brought to Plug and Play and to our ecosystem of startups. And now it is time for our startup pitch session. Hello, everyone. My name is Yuki, and I run the global operations for our food program here at Plug and Play. And I'll be your host for today, along with my colleague, Michelle. Thank you to each and every one of you for being with us today at our Spring Summit as we celebrate the graduation of our food Batch 7 startups. Now, before we begin, just a few housekeeping items that I'd like to cover. Each startup will be presenting for about 4 minutes, followed by a 2-minute Q&A session, so please don't hesitate to ask questions in the Q&A chat box below. Also, we'll be conducting a poll after the Q&A session, asking if you'd like to get connected to the pitch startups. So please make sure you submit your responses there as well. So with that said, let's get ready to move to the main event. I'd like to introduce you to our first presenter, Moritz and Tony from Plantible Foods, and they're developing a functional and sustainable plant-based protein from duckweed.
Hi everyone, we're Maurits and Tony, co-founders of Plantible Foods, and coming from the Netherlands, we grew up with meat and dairy. We really love our cheeses. But unfortunately, we discovered that it requires quite some natural resources in order to produce the animals that create these delicious products. For example, it requires 750,000 gallons of fresh water and half an acre of land to grow one happy and healthy cow. And knowing that by 2050 we'll need to produce 70% more food with only 20% of excessive arable land available, we realized that we have to change our diets in order to ensure that future generations can eat as well. This meant that we had to open ourselves up to a more sustainable and arguably healthier plant-based lifestyle. But there was only one minor problem that we encountered, and that is that most of these plant-based products are actually quite low in protein, relatively rich in sugar and salt, while they also contain a lot of funky and unpronounceable ingredients like methyl cellulose. Apparently, the reason for all this is because the currently used plant-based protein ingredients tend to be a terrible replacement for their animal-based counterparts. They often have inferior taste profiles and inadequate functionality. So we asked ourselves, is there a better plant-based protein out there that would be able to replace these animal-based proteins? And apparently there is. It is called Rubisco. This plant-based enzyme possesses similar nutritional and functional characteristics as egg whites while being completely allergen-free. This enables food manufacturers to turn many products that are currently still animal-based into plant-based products. However, there is only one minor challenge, and that is that Rubisco can only be found in leafy greens.
So we set out to find the most Rubisco efficient leafy green in the world. And we found that in Lemna, an aquatic plant that is considered to be the most sustainable and nutrient-dense plant in the world. Now that we found our ideal source of this enzyme, we had to develop a production system, starting with an aqua farming system that can consistently grow and provide a consistent supply of the Lemna biomass. We then developed a proprietary extraction technology to isolate the enzyme from the Lemna biomass, and along the way also remove the color, taste and smell associated with the leafy green. And right now we are deploying this process on our pilot farm in San Diego, where we have proven that our production system is actually 100 times more resource efficient than soybean production. In the past year, we've had over 40 companies reach out to us to inquire about samples. Of those 40 companies, we selected 7 companies to initiate commercialization trials with. And eventually, of those 7, 6 signed LOIs for future offtake and 2 even signed purchase orders. The feedback that we received ranged from our ingredient being superior to anything that they have seen in the market to it being a complete game changer in the industry. However, we couldn't have done this without our formidable and industry-leading team, which combined has over 75 years of experience in developing and scaling similar business models. For example, Caesar has over 30 years of experience in developing and scaling algae production systems, whereas Hans is the former senior process engineer at Just, where he designed and scaled their mung bean protein isolation process. And Joe used to be the head of R&D at Soylent, and prior to that was a principal scientist at Leprino, Land O'Lakes and Kraft Heinz. However, we also had significant support from the leading professional and academic research institutes in the world, while our advisory board includes the founder of Memphis Meats and the founder of IndieBio and Wild Earth. So where are we today? Today we're preparing for scale-up in order to ensure that we can produce larger quantities of our Rubisco protein and start to create better plant-based foods that are actually tastier, healthier, and more sustainable than their animal-based counterparts, ensuring that not only us, but also the future generations can have access to high quality and sustainable nutrition. We would like to thank you for your time, and we hope to welcome you soon on our production facility in San Diego.
Thank you so much for that pitch, Tony and Maurits. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michelle, and I'm the Ventures Associate for a Silicon Valley Food Program. I'll be your question master for this session. So let's jump right into the questions from the audience for Plantible Foods. So, Tony and Maurits, is the water use sustainable?
Sorry, we're still muted, but we're still muted. What is the water that we use sustainable? Or is the water use sustainable?
Is the water use sustainable?
Okay, yeah, the water footprint is actually very low due to the natural characteristics of the crop. So our water footprint is 20 times lower than that of yellow peas.
Got it. And what does the price comparison look like for your product versus what other ingredients on the market?
Yeah, so we're targeting a similar price as egg white.
Got it. And do you know what your anticipated cost is going to be for at full scale?
Yeah, so that will be similar to that of pea protein.
Got it. So how does your IP stack against others that have been working on duckweed?
Yeah, so we are more focused on Rubisco than we are on duckweed specific. So for us, duckweed is more, or lemna, as we prefer to call it, more the source of Rubisco. So our technology is all related to how we can optimally grow lemna in order to source as much as Rubisco as possible. So there are some novelties there that are differentiating compared to other companies that are operating or are building a business model around lemna.
Got it. And is your ingredient heat resistant?
Like is the final ingredient, like it is, it functions like a chicken egg white. So it creates heat-induced gels.
Got it. And do you have an FTO?
Yes, we've done the freedom to operate analysis with a lawyer, so we're fully cleared there. We actually already filed a patent on our extraction technology.
Got it. Thank you so much, Tony. So we'll move on to the next company.
Thank you.
Thanks.
What a great start to our startup pitch session. Thank you so much, Moritz and Tony. Everyone, that was Plantible Foods. Up next, we have Jahan from AdHark, and they're developing powerful visual intelligence tools that elevates brand performance.
Hello, Plug and Play Summit. Thanks so much for having us. My name is Joe Annunziato, representing Visit. For those of you that are familiar with AdHark, we are one and the same. We were recently rebranded and renamed in practicing what we preach with some consumer feedback from our really helpful initial cohort of enterprise clients. I am ecstatic to introduce you to the concept of visual intelligence through Visit's AI image analysis engine, a truly new product that will allow teams across the world of CPG to bring the better products and advertising to market more quickly, more efficiently. The story starts with the way the consumer has changed and our inability to efficiently measure some of the behaviors that are driving purchase. So much of consumer behavior has become subconscious. Think about your recent Instacart orders and how that scroll and click behavior that became so prominent from things like Instagram and social channels is really driving the way we make these implicit-based decisions. They're heuristically driven and they're cognitively biased. The real consumer truth involves some of that bias, and we're now able to see through our consumer eyes in that way. There's so much visual data out there, and it's largely untapped. It's estimated that brands are leaving about $20 billion on the table in the US relative to unoptimized commercial imagery. Traditional methods, which is my background, developing and implementing agile development processes for market research, it was really apparent to me, and I became very excited to bring this technology to those use cases, because traditional methods are so rational and so much purchasing behavior, as we mentioned, is so implicit and irrational. We fail to capture that complete view of the customer and make that view of the customer democratized and available to all of our stakeholders as a research group in general. The Visit platform offers a super intuitive way to log in, upload your imagery, and get those scores on what is most preferential for your given audience. This score is so direct and simple that it really cuts out any internal communications and workflows. It allows you to have confidence to put this tool in the hands of any of your stakeholders who are assessing the success of imagery. This understanding of that implicit heuristic-driven lens is foundational and should be foundational to anything we build, anything from creative to new product concepts. We're able to understand your target audience very quickly by mining all the behavioral data that's available for what they interact with, how they consume, and kind of where they live in the digital world. We then can predict that group's behavior as a group rather than one individual person with an immense amount of accuracy based on our database of trillions of visual triggers. And we apply up to 10,000 of those triggers for each individual image analysis for a given audience. We've seen incredible applications across idea screening of any kind, from innovation use cases to e-commerce content optimization. I think this changes for everyone, and we really need to understand your process to really suggest the right implementation in the right places for you. But I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to have those conversations with everyone. I have some great case studies that I'm willing to share, and you see my email there in the bottom of the screen. Please don't hesitate to reach out. We'd love to share our stories and understand where this technology can change the game for you. Thanks so much for your time. Appreciate you all joining today. Thanks so much to Plug and Play for putting this on, and cheers, everybody.
Thank you so much, Jahan. So please ask any questions that you have from the box below. Jahan, can you maybe speak about any use cases or examples on how you use your product?
Sure. So really, I mean, we found a lot of, we've kind of been a customer-led company. So, one thing that we've been really kind of fortunate to have is some really engaged early partners. And those partners have really helped us understand just how pervasive image is in their business. For some businesses, their packaging is the visual stimulus, and that is literally the face of their product and oftentimes of their company. So we found some really interesting and effective use cases with pack testing and new package design evaluation. E-commerce has been a really powerful case for us. So you think about the digital shelf and choosing between different granola bars, choosing between different juices, that kind of implicit draw from the image is what drives glance views, and the performance and selection of your images in a carousel effectively drives a higher throughput. So on both kind of physical products and digital representations of products, we found some pretty fun use cases just in our kind of early, with our early corporate partners.
Great. And do you create any digital content for your customers, or is it just analysis and rating?
That's a great question. So we're a pure play AI company. So the team is all product team and engineers. We've developed systems that can automatically and algorithmically evaluate imagery, and our clients use that for testing, but also for discovery of new images. So many brands have a very large database, or a DAM, a digital asset management system, of thousands and thousands of assets, but oftentimes the kind of insights and some of the most powerful assets that will work hardest at driving sales are hidden. So our clients will provide us with their imagery for evaluation, and the system provides discriminative scoring through the eyes or through the lens of one or more target segments, where each audience segment is represented in its own AI algorithm. That's what's really magical about this, is we're actually creating an artificial brain that perceives imagery as a particular cohort would. As you can imagine, my grandmother, who just turned 90, has a different worldview than my brother, who just graduated from Northeastern. They see the world differently. So we teach our algorithms to discriminate and kind of develop the biases that those cohorts have.
That's wonderful. So we're just out of time, but please answer the poll if you want to get connected to Jahan and visit. So let's move on to the next company. Thank you.
Thank you, Jahan. That was AdHark, everyone. Next up, we have Alex from Baze Labs, the first personalized nutrition company that identifies blood micronutrient gaps through a simple at-home diagnostic.
Hello, my name is Alex Bochis, Chief Operating Officer at Baze Labs. We're a Boston-based startup focusing on building a personalized nutrition platform that uses an individual's micronutrient levels to build a customized nutrition program. Ultimately, our goal is to enable better health through the use of food and supplements in a targeted way to improve those micronutrient levels. And it's really our belief that while micronutrition is known to be essential for health, the ability to manage it is really a black box. And this is definitely evident by just the high rate of deficiency across the population. And this actually leads to real health outcomes. Micronutrients facilitate thousands of reactions in the body, and deficiencies have a clear connection with a wide range of symptoms. So our customers that we see, they come because they have low energy, poor sleep, elevated stress. And really our focus is on really kind of correlating our program with the ability to ultimately feel better and healthier. But really, I mean, the issue is that in the US today, micronutrition really isn't top of mind, whether it's in the grocery store or in the clinic. And really what we want to be able to do is really shift the mindset away from just calorie counting, macros, to allow nutrient density to be a key kind of focus for customers when they're selecting the food that they eat. And what we see is that this would really enable the future where food can really be used as medicine. BASE was founded on the premise that your blood is the window to your health. And we did extensive research in the first couple of years to really identify, one, the nutrients that correlate with better health outcomes, and then two, what those corresponding blood levels are that lead to that improvement. And from that, what we did was use this concept to build a convenient user experience that really allows blood diagnostics to inform personalized nutrition recommendations. So we were founded in 2014, our leaders really being key players in the pharma space, the diagnostic space, and along the way we've built up an industry-leading team of nutrient scientists, advisors, registered dietitians, and actually currently about half of our team has an advanced degree in nutrition. And this focus on science has allowed us to build a product that really works. Over the past 2 years, we actually completed a US-wide IRB study looking at over 5,000 customers. And what we're able to do is demonstrate the ability to actually close micronutrition deficiencies, gaps. And we were able to show that of the nutrition deficiencies that we measured in the first test, we were able to actually improve 73% of these to go into the range of kind of normal and optimal levels. And as of today, we've raised over $6 million to test this concept. So we've been in the market again for 2 years, but really over that time, we've actually identified a much bigger opportunity than I think the one that we initially set out on. And over the last 6 months, what we've been looking to do is really partner with big industry players who have a lot of the key components that could enable and build a personalized nutrition offering. So we've been working with some of the leading pharmacies, groceries, food brands to really actually enable their build of personalized capabilities using BASE as really the core driver of getting the data needed to make the right recommendations. And then this is what we've been focusing on over the past 6 months. So really expanding BASE to enable partners to build these personalized capabilities. So this approach has now put BASE at the center of a personalized capability, whether it's at a large grocery chain again, or with a food brand looking to better target nutrition needs. And what we're working on is working with these partners to really kind of build flexibility into our platform so that they can use it in a way that works for them. Kind of from here on out is identify kind of two key kind of types of partners. So right now we're raising a Series B to really double down on the development of this platform concept. So really kind of enhancing and building out our development team, our research team, our science team. So if you are interested in more details around this round, just reach out to me. And we're also looking for other partners. So we're currently working with some of the largest organizations, as I mentioned, here in the US. And we're currently looking for additional partners that can either offer other kind of food products that we can integrate, other capabilities that we could incorporate. So also, if you're interested in learning more how BASE could help enable your organization to build a personalized nutrition capability, please reach out. And yeah, I'm looking forward to being in touch and sharing more information one-on-one. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alex. So let's jump into the questions from the audience. How do you get the blood samples, and what data do you use to recommend foods for the customer to purchase?
Yeah, so for the first part of the question, the partner that we've aligned with for blood collection is a company actually based close to us here in Boston called 7 Sense Biosystems. So they and us actually worked together in 2019 to get approval for their TAP blood collection device for the use at home. So we use that device, it collects a liquid blood sample, and then we ship that to users and they ship it back to us and then we process it. And then in terms of the food recommendations, there's a couple of, let me just take a step back. I mean, this is one of the biggest issues in the space today is really just even the data around micronutrient levels in food. So our approach right now is we have a couple of partners that we've worked with, one being Edamame, who have already mapped out some of the key micronutrients, but we've also worked with a number of innovative food and CPG companies that have really taken it on themselves to measure their micronutrient status. So one is Performance Kitchen, Seattle-based company that we've really worked with to really integrate this concept of food with our nutrition platform. So that was really our first partner that we piloted the concept of food.
Got it. And are you going to make any efforts to work with pets and for animal health?
Yeah, so we get this question a lot. It's not on our current roadmap, although I mean, with the number of questions that we receive, it does feel like a growing opportunity for us. So something that could be in a future pipeline.
Okay, cool. And one question from the YouTube live stream. What has been your total financing to date? And if you can share your lead VCs.
Total financing to date is a little bit over 9 million. So our Series A was closed in May of last year. The lead of that round was a company called Nature's Way. So a strategic investor based out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. So they're the lead in that Series A, and we're looking for other institutional and strategic investors for this next round.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Alex and Base Labs. Let's move on to the next startup.
Thank you, Alex. Everyone, that was Base Labs. Our next presenter is Ariana from Aqua Cycle, and they're developing the most energy-neutral, cost-effective, scalable, on-site wastewater treatment.
Hello, my name is Oriana Bretschker. I am the CEO and founder of Aqua Cycle. At Aqua Cycle, we make the bioelectrochemical treatment technology, or BET, and our goal is to make wastewater treatment better for our food and beverage clients. This technology has been in development in my laboratory over the last 15 years, represents $12 million of non-dilutive grant funding and $5 million of investment to date. Over the last 3 years, we have been de-risking this technology with demonstrations across multiple applications with paying clients. Over this last year, we did 2 demonstrations with multinational food and beverage companies, both exceeding their performance milestones by 2 or 3 times relative to treatment performance. The team is led by myself and my co-founders, Sophia and Ryoji. All of us have worked together for many years, coming from academic and industry environments, and bringing that expertise to bear specifically on developing a technology that can address 3 major problems within food and beverage production facilities. One is the generation of these very concentrated waste streams. It can be 300 times more concentrated than what you see in a typical sewer, even though it's just typically sugar. What we do is we have a plug-and-play unit, sits on site and addresses the treatment of these wastewaters directly, which can reduce sewerage fees anywhere from 20 to 60%. That can add up to about $500,000 to $1 million a year per facility in savings. We also address total suspended solids and eliminate the hauling of these solids off-site. This can also be a very costly problem, to $200,000 to $500,000 a year per facility. We can reduce those hauling costs from 60 to 100% in some cases. If there is existing infrastructure already on site, such as an anaerobic digester, we can act as a pre-treatment system for that anaerobic digester, helping to optimize biogas production by 30 to 50%, as well as reduce sulfide and eliminate the chemical costs associated with biogas sulfide production. How the system works is based on a microbial fuel cell. We use naturally existing bacteria already present in the wastewater. We bring these bacteria into each reactor, And they start to form biofilms or fixed films on the conductive surfaces inside of each reactor. These biofilms then start to use those surfaces as a way to breathe or a way to respire. And in that respiration process, they give up electrons. We move those electrons across the circuit, producing DC power. Now we can offset the energy demand of our system using the power that we generate. But the cooler thing is that the more electricity that we generate, the faster the treatment rate is. Because as we move electrons away from the bacteria very fast, we make them breathe really fast, which means they're eating fast, and that's what drives treatment rate. We can do in hours what a typical system will take days to do. And it's an extremely robust system. We can handle production variability, scheduling environments, and cleaning without any issue. The systems are patented. We've got 15 years of know-how in the space. How the reactors scale, basically like Legos. We just pack them into a standard shipping container and plug and play on site. We remotely monitor and control each reactor, reducing the amount of operator time required on site. And also we can catch issues before they become problems in terms of wastewater treatment and production. The dirtier the better, so the more concentrated the wastewater is, the more efficient our systems are. And as I mentioned, we've been validating the technology across a variety of applications over this last year and have translated into some sales in it, as well as the paid demonstrations. So the demo units we install, pretty small plug-and-play units. Will operate these systems with a customer for 3 to 6 months, translate into a sale. And very happy to answer any additional questions you might have about how we can help you make your wastewater treatment better. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Oriana. Hope you're on the line right now. So do you think you can maybe provide any use cases that you've done with a corporate partner?
Yes. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Great. Yes, so we have case studies we can provide. So the system that we ran at Mars Wrigley, we had a 4-hour hydraulic residence time through the system. We're treating a range of wastewater concentrations coming from the plant. And we exceeded our treatment milestone in that system by 2 or 3 times, and that's been operating for about 6 months on site. We also had a system with Anheuser-Busch, one of their facilities in Los Angeles, that also exceeded milestones in terms of treatment. So I'm happy to provide those case studies for more detailed review on request.
Great. And does your technology work on acidic waste streams?
Well, we can treat acidic waste streams because we actually balance the pH as a part of our system. So we use technology to equalize the pH before it comes into our units. It is biological, so we need our pH to be between 5 and 9.
Got it. And can your system deal with any industry wastewater?
We handle anything with organic waste. So we are talking to some industrial customers that are outside of food and beverage, but their wastewater is all concentrated in heavy organics. We do not address inorganics, so no metals, no other inorganic compounds, nothing in hydrocarbons, very robustly.
Okay, thank you so much, Oriana and Aqua Cycle. Let's move on to the next startup.
Thank you so much, Ariana. That was Aqua Cycle, everyone. Next, we have Joanne from Phytoption, and they offer a variation of all-natural, high-functional ingredients and innovation from nature.
Hi, my name is Joanne Zhang, co-founder and the CEO of Phytoption. Today, I'm going to talk about using functional flour, which is a flora, to make food and beverage clean, simple, and healthy. First, I like to show an example of a clean label food. On the left side, this is a regular cake label, which contains a lot of unfavorable ingredients highlighted in red. On the right side, we simply replace the emulsifiers and the texturants with our specialty rice flour and pea flour. Isn't it nice to have such a clean, simple, and healthy cake? If you like the clean label cake, you are one of the 80% of the consumers who prefer clean label food. However, whether you know it or not, we still consume chemicals and other unfavorable ingredients in our daily life. There are allergens, surfactants, solvents, and chemically treated ingredients in the food and the beverage we consume daily. Consumers love natural food. Why manufacturers are not making everything clean and natural? That is because natural food ingredients are not functional enough to replace the chemically treated ingredients. That's the pain faced by food and personal care manufacturers. To solve the problem, our team has developed proprietary functional flours called Flora to replace the emulsifiers and the texturants currently being used. Flora is all natural, made of crops such as corn, rice, or peas. They are free from chemical treatment, allergens, gluten, or GMO. The label is as simple as flour. We also have organic versions. We want to help food and personal care manufacturers. Flour can replace many unfavorable ingredients in ice cream, frozen dessert, color flavor, plant milk, sauce, dressing, plant meat, bakery creamer, and personal care products such as powders, cream, and lotions. If you are a manufacturer in this field, there's no need to change the processing, and the cost of use is comparable. In addition, our flour can replace multiple ingredients in your current formulation. The addressable market is $18 billion. Flora supersedes many alternative products in the market. We have tested the technical performance in our lab and by many customers. Flora performs better than modified starch, gums, lecithin, etc. Plus, it is a plant-based flour that is one of the safest and cleanest ingredients in human diet. In addition, Flora is patent pending. Our team includes myself, who has worked in the food and chemical corporations for 20 years, such as Danisco and Progel, and my co-founder, Dr. Yao, who is a professor of food science at Purdue University. Our team also includes research scientists and advisory board. We are supported by Plug and Play and 2 local accelerators. I am excited to announce that we have over 10 companies ranging from small to large that are piloting Flora. In addition, we have received a letter of intent. In the past several years, we have been granted with SBIR funding of $1.3 million from the National Science Foundation. Today, I am asking for customers, collaborators, and your interest syndicating in our current round of fundraising. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joanne. So let's jump into the questions from the audience. Does your flour replace preservatives?
No, it's designed to replace emulsifiers and the texturing agent, but we do have applications that we can help to deliver the natural preservatives.
Got it. And because you have a functionalized flour, won't it show up on the label as a modified flour?
Actually, no. The modified terminology is used when certain process is used, for example, chemical treatment or enzymatic treatment. And our flour doesn't involve those processes. And with attorney review, the legal process review, it is determined to be labeled as a flour.
Got it. And can you maybe provide a little bit more basic technology information about how you functionalize your flour?
That's similarly as we just said, we don't involve chemical treatment. So the processing primarily is a physical process.
Okay. And so your flour blend can be used to replace emulsifiers in food and beverage?
Yes, it can be, actually, especially it can be used in beverage too. So food, beverage, such as plant-based milk, coffee creamer, different type of beverages, and also cakes, bakeries, tortilla, bread, etc.
Got it. And can you maybe clarify if you have tested your Flora product for human indigestion or ingestion?
It is the nutrition is not alternate. Basically, it's the same nutrition and the same digestion process as regular flour.
Got it. Thank you so much, Joanne and Phytoption. Please answer the poll if you'd like to connect with them. Let's move on to the next startup.
Thank you so much, Joanne. We're really seeing some interesting companies here today. Our next presenter is Peter from Genesis Feed Technologies, and their platform brings formulation data together with ingredient quality and price information into one platform.
My name is Peter. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Genesis Feed Technologies. For as long as anyone can remember, people in the animal feed industry have been buying commodities like soybean meal based on price and protein. The nutritionist would receive the product, formulate around any quality changes, and go along. Nobody seemed to think this was that big of a deal until now. The problem is when you purchase things in that way and you use them in that way, you tend to be very inefficient. Protein is not the only measure of quality. In fact, it's hardly what those ingredients are used for when they arrive at the plant. So groups have been trying to think of what are some other ways that we could do this. Marketing groups like the U.S. Soybean Export Council, whose mission in life is to promote soybean usage around the world and promote U.S. soybean meal, have done a lot of research on those commodities and found that U.S. soybean meal has higher content in energy and amino acids, and trying to market that to the world. They go to every country that buys it. People there say, we agree, we believe you, but show me the money. They haven't had a good way to calculate that dollar value until now, and Genesis Feed Technologies and our platform is that until now. Working in conjunction with them, we've deployed our platform right now to the sub-Asia continent, to Pakistan and India. We've also brought it out into the Americas, into Ecuador and Peru, and are soon to release it in Southeast Asia and other geographies around the world. In addition, we are starting paid pilot programs with for the top 10 grain storage companies in the United States, so a big global reach. We are a revenue positive company. We're on track to make over $400,000 in revenue this year, and we should see higher growth with that. Our software platform is a software as a service platform. Our business model is licensed, annual renewing revenue license, and then also consulting fees that come along with that. A little bit about our team. My name is Peter. I've been in the feed industry for more than 12 years. Matthew has over 40 years of experience in the industry. I like to joke we're taking Matthew's brain and putting it on a computer. And Phil Reindl, our other co-founder, he's got a master's in computer science and has done enterprise architecture in platforms for healthcare and agriculture. So he understands how to set up big systems securely to protect people's data. Really what our vision is we want to be a global network of real-time intelligent market data. We're on track to do that with our relationship with the Soybean Export Council. We'll be in 20 to 50 countries around the world collecting feed ingredient prices, formulation scenarios, and whatnot. So people that are buying and marketing can very easily make decisions based on that. And at the end of the day, to create a marketplace for people to execute trades on in that. So where are we at since we started the Plug and Play conference, the initial start of the batch? Well, we went from having this as our platform to finishing a complete prototype, which is now ready to go live with an updated interface for more usability as we scale this out. Now, we've got a lot of areas that we can expand on this. Once we have all that data in place, we'll be able to set quality incentives. In fact, we're doing some research with some groups on that right now, process the transactions and use AI for better decision making. What we're looking for right now are partners who can help with our distribution side. So if you are in the supply chain for ingredient trading, if you work with animal or feed producers, or you're just sharp on those types of things and would be a good strategic partner for us, we're looking for groups that can help us go to market with other customers. We're not currently raising money at this time, but we're always on the lookout for key strategic investors who could help us move forward. I'm Peter with Genesis Feed Technologies. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you so much, Peter. So maybe can you explain a couple of use cases or any case studies that you've done with any corporate partners?
Yeah, so we're actively working on those right now. One of them wants to take their ingredient product into a new market and try to expand their reach there. They don't have a good sense of what the premium offering could be for that area, or maybe some of the specific market conditions that are competitive to their product. Us working in conjunction with local experts and our price platform are able to calculate that premium and give them insight in the market that they wouldn't be able to accomplish otherwise.
Got it. And can you use this for other commodities in addition to soy?
Yeah, our focus has been on soy to start, but we're also with bakery, DDGS, or any other commodity that goes into a feed formulation.
Got it. And do you have maybe specific commodities that you've already developed your platform for?
Yeah, we've been heavily focused on soybean meal. And second, with DDGS and corn, those are the most widely used ones in animal feed. And so we've been primarily focused on them. We're building an ingredient nutrient database that's really customized globally for different scenarios.
Got it. And how do you model sustainability indicators for your users?
We're working on that right now. One of the things that the benefit of our platform is it takes the focus away from the protein aspect of soybean meal. So it de-emphasizes high protein production, which in geographies like the European Union, they're limiting the amount of protein that can be in soybean meal. And so we can show how to cost effectively have lower protein ingredients in that meet the sustainability standards.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Peter and Genesis Feed. And let's move on to the next company.
All right, that was Genesis Feed Technologies, everyone. Thank you so much again, Peter. Next up, we have Daryl from Flavor Labs, and they found a way to deliver flavor through electrical stimulation without adding chemical sweeteners, aromas, or color.
Hi, I'm Daryl, and I'm going to tell you all about Flavor Labs. Well, we're always looking for new ways to make things taste salty or sweet, but without sugar and without salt. But what if you could take plain water and make it taste like a flavored beverage? No additives, no sweeteners, no colorings, no aromas, or make solid foods taste better without the addition of salt, sugar, or chemical enhancers. Or internally, be able to have a unique database comparison between your flavors. Well, we create flavor through electrical and thermal stimulation, aromas, and visual cues, and we're changing the way that we experience and work with flavor. We have a couple of really smart people on the team, and myself. Nimesh and Ellen started this work over 10 years ago at National University of Singapore. The work began in 2009 under Nimesh's PhD. Since then, there have been a number of very, very interesting technical developments, but late last year, in April 2019, we officialized Flavor Labs, one new patent, $50,000 in seed funding, and a year later, we have 2 new patents being filed, an additional $100,000 in funding, our first revenue-generating contract, and our trials for the flavor utensil set for the 4th quarter. And our first product release is for the healthcare market. Anyone who's ever visited an aging care facility has heard the expression that the food has no taste. The food normally has a little bit of taste, but most people in that situation, because of side effects of medications, diminishing senses, just like any other faculty like eyesight or hearing, and people really don't appreciate the food. It causes a series of side effects that can be malnutrition, which leads to a cascade effect of other problems, including depression. And we're set to do our trials in the 4th quarter at 2 aging care facilities with the Flavor Spoon. Some of the challenges that we're addressing right now are the first one that I mentioned, which are people like salt, but they're on sodium-restricted diets. Internally, CPG companies would love to have a better handle and a unique digital sensory database of all their flavors with their interactions with flavor houses, but that doesn't exist today. And many people like something sweet, but they can't have sugar. Other people want a glass of wine or a cocktail, but that's off limits. So what have we done so far? In the way of flavor enhancement for solid foods, we have our flavor utensil, the chopsticks, and the soup bowl. We've also been very successful in teleporting flavor, which simply means having a glass of lemonade with our sensor in one end of the room or the other side of the world, and being able to recreate that exact taste sensation halfway around the globe. What we're working on today is even more exciting. We're working in the healthcare area. We're helping companies internally create a sensory digital database. We're also working with virtual spices using our thermal technology. And we're here because we want to work with people who know a lot more about healthcare and a lot more about food and beverage than we do. And we want strategic partnerships for products and processes. Some of those in the product side are flavor enhancements for everything from hypertension to addiction treatment to diabetes and allergies. Non-alcoholic, alcoholic drinks. On the process side, we're trying to help CPG companies improve the operations, both on the CPG side and with the flavor houses, remote sensory panels, and making flavor selection predictive and database. Please come talk to us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daryl, for that pitch. Maybe can you talk about any taste panels that you've done with participants?
Sure. We've run some very limited taste panels, and what we've been doing is actually pretty interesting. We've been doing it strictly with electrical stimulation and aroma stimulation. And our measurements are even more interesting because the measurements just aren't quantifying the exact flavor profile, but we're also, in some cases, taking into account the emotional effect using EEG and also skin monitors to try and determine a correlation between flavors and emotions.
Got it. And just to clarify for the audience, your technology, can it recreate any flavor based on electricity?
Well, most flavors, a good component of flavors are aroma. So in some cases, for example, the salty sensation doesn't require any aroma, and that's why we decided to launch the spoon product first. In the case of sweet flavors and some other combinations, if you take chocolate, for example, chocolate is about 90% aroma. So a lot of what we're doing is integrated with the olfactory senses as well.
Got it. And are there any safety concerns with your technology?
Well, right now we're still very early on, and I think I mentioned in the presentation that we're going to be going out to do much wider trials in the last quarter of this year. And the biggest question is not short-term usage, but what everybody wants to know, what we want to know as well, is long-term usage, if there's any sort of side effects from long-term usage.
Got it. And what's your business model?
On the product side, we'll be releasing the spoon as a product, and also there'll be what we call flavor charges, which are individual meal charges that will be sold on a monthly basis, as well as the app, which will track all of the eating behavior and all the calorie intake as well.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Daryl and Flavor Labs. And we'll move on to the next company.
Everyone, that was Flavor Labs. Thank you so much again, Daryl. Our next presenter is Cameron from Progel, and they build microgels that are the perfect delivery vehicles for functional foods, supplements, and oral therapeutics.
So, why are you here? Are you worried about the effect of the war on sugar and the effect of obesity and cardiovascular disease is having on the food industry globally? Or are you just worried about the success of your new products with the new flavor or packaging innovations? Or are you just really looking for the next big unlock that's going to delight your customers and propel your company forward against all of the other competition from big and small and startup companies? Well, I've got good news for you. My name's Cameron Turner. I'm the CEO of a great Australian startup called Progel, and we have an exciting technology that's going to help you create affordable, credible, functional health innovations for your products and your customers. So what do we do? Well, Progel takes actives that are normally found in capsules and tablets, and we reduce them into a format or into an ingredient that you can add to great tasting consumer healthcare products. So foods, beverages, and complementary healthcare products. We do that by creating these very tiny little alginate microgels. These are about 50 micrometers in size. You can see a probiotic one there that's got probiotics around the outside. That's what we produce. And we do that in a way so that these particles, these ingredients are low cost, they're tasteless, we know that they're effective, they actually deliver a bioavailable dose to the human body, and the process we use is patented, protected all around the world, which gives you options for exclusivity. So how do we do this? Well, this is a really simple process. The process we use is we take a seaweed derivative called alginate, comes from brown seaweed, and we mix it with the active, and we put it through our proprietary patented process to create these tiny, small alginate microgels, about 50 micrometers in size. And we do this through our system where we have a device, a stainless steel device with an active plus alginate sprayed from the top, calcium chloride from the bottom. The particle forms in the mist. Once it forms, it instantaneously cross-links and then falls out to the bottom of the device. That product can then be used wet, it's already encapsulated, or it can be dried and used in dry products. So but why do we do this? Why is this such a big deal? Well, there is enormous opportunity in the functional food and nutraceutical industry, but growth is somewhat constrained by a number of factors, including taste, including stability, whether the product stays alive or stays effective, whether it is actually effective. A lot of companies got into a lot of trouble because the products that they produce don't actually deliver the benefit. And can you actually deliver a particular active to a part of the gastrointestinal system? We can solve all these problems. So let me give you a couple of examples. Perky is our first product we developed. It's the world's first micro-encapsulated probiotic flavored water. This is a game-changing product because not only can we keep probiotics alive in product for months, we can also protect them through the acidic stomach. We've got great data to show that we can do this. This product is available nationally in Australia and New Zealand. We've raised $10 million into this business, spun it out from Progel, and we hope to see it in the US and China in the next year or so. What else have we done? We've actually developed an immune-boosting dairy supplement called lactoferrin. It's going to be launched later this year by Bega Bionutrients as Inferrin, and we've got clinical data to show that this can boost the immune system in humans and adults. We've also developed the technology in agriculture as a coating bacteria for application in seed coats, so that demonstrates the low cost and the big scalability of this technology, and this improves germination in agricultural seeds. We're now working on amino acids for both human and animal applications to boost protein levels, and I hope to soon be able to announce a license deal around microencapsulated spirulina, which tastes great, smells great, and is going to introduce spirulina to a whole new range of products that have never been possible before because of the taste and the smell issues. So I guess what I want to do is just ask you some questions. What unlock are you looking for? What is going to unlock value for you and your customers? Is it energy? We're working on slow-release caffeine. Is it something in the brain space around omega-3s or Brahmi, a plant herb? Is it around women's health? Is it around immunity? Is it around heart? Is it around muscle? Is it around novel flavors or aromas? We can encapsulate all these sorts of things. So I guess we've got a great team. We've got incredible traction. We've got revenues. We've got a trajectory which is growing really quickly. We're profitable. We're paying dividends back to our shareholders. We're not looking for money. We're just looking for companies who have problems that we can help solve. So I want to finish with, so how can we help unlock value for you? Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So unfortunately, Cameron couldn't join us today, but please submit all your responses in the poll that popped up in your window if you want to get connected with Progel. Thank you.
All right, that was Progel, everyone. Thank you so much again, Cameron. Up next, we have Tim from Nano Things, a source-to-store traceability solution that is changing the way companies access, visualize, and communicate logistics data.
Hi everybody, my name is Tim Williams. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Nano Things. Nano Things is a connected product-level cold chain traceability solution. Insufficient cold chain traceability currently causes more than $1 trillion of waste every year, and that's because issues like driver and dock worker negligence, temperature abuse issues, and a whole lot of data entry errors cannot be traced with today's technologies and methodologies. So we built a connected sensor solution that lives at the product level to provide autonomous transparency across the cold chain. So here's how it works. This is the Nano Tag. It's our proprietary smart label. To activate the Nano Tag, simply peel this bottom tab off, and then to adhere the Nano Tag, remove it from its release liner, and simply stick it to whatever product you may have. Once it's stuck to the product, it'll provide autonomous temperature monitoring and physical traceability across all touch points in the cold chain. We predict the total addressable market for this solution to be over $1 trillion and the serviceable obtainable market to be in the $10 billion range. Despite the fact that we do have a sensor element to our solution, we have a SaaS-based business model. So we're charging our customers based on volume of shipments or assets being tracked on a monthly basis. We're going after the entire cold chain from manufacturers all the way down to retailer stores. And our sales strategy is to focus on the retailers first. The reason being the retailers have a lot of power and they can actually control what the manufacturers have to use for quality control monitoring. We have both SaaS and hardware competition. The key takeaway here is that you cannot solve this problem unless you're an IoT solution like Nano Things. So to talk a little bit more about what makes our hardware so unique, the Nano Tag is actually printed. So we're printing the electronics inside this tag, which is what is enabling the label-like form factor, but it also drastically reduces the cost, which allows and enables for product-level granularity. Embedded within the Nano Tag is a digital temperature sensor, an accelerometer for impact and fall detection, and a whole lot of intelligence so that we can even monitor things like changes in custody and arrival and departure time in every single location in the cold chain. The Nano Tag is completely wireless and can communicate up to 10 miles to the nearest gateway. Our software platform does three primary things. First is end-to-end cold chain analytics at the stakeholder level. Secondly, we're ensuring that this data is being shared equally across stakeholders in the cold chain. And then finally, we've even built in a chat ops tool to allow for efficient collaboration between inter-party stakeholders. We have strong early market traction. We've signed 7 customers to date, 2 of which have launched. We're starting to scale our monthly recurring revenue, and we have exceptionally strong channel partners. Big shout out to Plug and Play. Right now, we're raising between $2 and $4 million. Most of that will be used to scale our software team and software platform, but we'll also be starting to build out our own sales team. So just a quick note on the COVID situation. Obviously, everybody has been affected by COVID, but luckily the cold chain is pandemic and recession proof. So we expect to be in a real position of strength coming out of this pandemic. I'm the guy on the left that's talking right here. My 2 co-founders, Alan Gruber and David Gruber. Alan is a serial entrepreneur. He invented video streaming, sold that company to Akamai for over $3 billion. David is also an entrepreneur, sold his first company to Rakuten, and he leads our software team. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tim. So let's jump into some questions that the audience has. Is there hardware that is needed at the retailer to check the sensors?
Yeah, so you need one of these. It's a little gateway, and this is effectively a reader of sorts, but it's really, really small. It's plug and play, so no pun intended. So you literally just plug it into a wall, and it will provide miles of range of connectivity.
Got it. And how does the information is sent real time from the sensor to the platform?
So that's the artificial intelligence baked into the solution. The tag knows when it's in connectivity, in an area of connectivity, and will automatically transmit its data to known gateways in the connectivity range. And if it's not in an area of connectivity, it knows to automatically go into a store and record mode until it comes back into a range.
And there's a question from the YouTube live stream. What is the current COG for the Nano Tag?
That's proprietary information, but it's the lowest cost active sensor in the world by far. I mean, bar none. I mean, we entered the cost curve 75% lower than anything else in the market. So, I mean, we're sort of going after the RFID market in terms of cost and scalability.
Got it. And who provides the local gateway at a store?
So we do. We actually, one of our big value propositions is if you're into LoRaWAN or wanting to explore LoRaWAN, we'll actually put in the infrastructure for you free of charge. Got
it. And do you maybe have any KPIs or success metrics that you can share?
In what regard? I mean, we've been successful with every single one of our customer launches. We've never had a single data point gone missing. I don't know what types of KPIs you're looking for.
Yeah, so I don't think they clarified much in the question. So maybe please answer on the poll if you'd like to get connected to Nano Things and to Tim to further explain that question. But thank you so much, Tim and Nano Things.
Thank you. Bye.
Let's move on to the next startup.
All right, that was Nano Things. Thank you so much, Tim. Next up is Henry from Taste Natural, and they produce proprietary all-natural ingredients which block negative taste in food, beverages, and nutraceuticals.
Hello, I'm Henry Schaefer, co-founder and CEO of Taste Natural. Taste Natural provides ingredients that block negative taste in food, beverages, nutraceutical, and pharmaceuticals. Our proprietary extraction process produces our active ingredients from a variety of botanical feedstocks. We make healthy taste good is our motto, our focus, our passion. It's why we founded the company. We're at the epicenter of the largest trends in the food industry. Consumers want to eat healthier, but do not want to give up taste to do it. These are the trends that will drive growth through 2025. Studies continue to highlight the negative effects of both sugar and sodium. Sugar has now replaced fat as the demon food in the mind of consumers. Plant-based food category is growing by double digits, 5 times the overall rate of the food category. 60% of consumers look for healthy options when making purchase decisions. The functional category is expected to reach $275 billion in 2025. And the bad boy of the trends, CBD, 28% of consumers have used it, 54% are open to use it. Growth will be rapid with an expected $20 billion market in 2024. And we have proven success in applications within all these trends. We make an awesome sugar-free dark chocolate. Our low-sodium potato chips taste great. We're also in extruded vegetable snacks. We do well offsetting the negative vegetable notes in pea and soy protein, as well as vegetable bases. We block caffeine bitterness, as well as the herbal components often contained in energy tablets and drinks. We block the burn of CBD as well as its grassy notes. We work in almost all type product formulas and formats, from drinks to gummies. We are clean label, as our active ingredients are all natural. With no fermentation, we're listed as natural flavors. We do not impact the end product's labeling, a key goal of our company and an important selling point. We operate in the flavor industry with our natural flavors. The market is expected to grow approximately 5% annually through 2025, with most of the growth in the natural flavor segment. Natural flavors should approach 50% within this decade. The flavor industry is highly fragmented with both large and small players. This is an opportunity for us as customers are used to sourcing from multiple vendors. We utilize high quality independent facilities to manufacture our products, providing scalability and geographical diversity. We have a strong team. I have experience in multiple startups and have had several successful exits. Josh is my co-founder and has deep experience in the food and bev space. Josh invented our patent pending extraction process. Currently, we're profitable and cash flow positive with multiple repeat customers in most sectors. We have sales cycles underway with large firms in many categories, and we are in discussions with multiple plug-and-play sponsors. We are looking to identify additional strategic partners that we can assist in bringing new products into the market. We're raising our seed round to build the business by increasing sales and marketing efforts. We had a pre-seed round in 2018 of $250,000. We make healthy taste good. We're focused in the food and bev, nutraceutical, and pharmaceutical industry. Looking to speak with you soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Henry. So with an increasingly intense competitive landscape, what really differentiates your products from the current established players within the space? I think you're on mute, Henry.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, so our technology is unique in this case. We actually have reactive technology that blocks the negative taste, does not actually fool the tongue. We make the actual negative compound too large to implant on the taste buds. That weak bind then breaks apart as soon as it hits the digestive system. Our ingredients are heat and freeze stable, and we're all totally clean label. So those kind of unique attributes is why we've been getting to be more and more successful even through the COVID-19 situation.
Got it. And because your technology is mainly an extraction process of botanicals, how is that scalable on a vast global volume?
It is, we use contract manufacturing for our extraction as well as our manufacturing of the products. So we have identified a number of extraction companies. We can be geographically diverse, as well as being in as big a player as people need.
Okay, great. So that's all the questions from the audience. But if there are any other questions, of course, the startups can be answering them live as well after their pitch. So thank you, Henry, and Taste Natural. We'll move on to the next company.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Harry. Everyone, that was Taste Natural. We're on to our last few startup pitches. So up next, we have Lena from Phenomics.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lena Pradhan-Napstick, and I'm one of the co-founders and CEO of Phenomics. Phenomics is a B2B company located in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And at Phenomics, we're set to revolutionize the dietary supplement and functional food industry using cutting-edge genomics and AI technology. Chronic conditions all around the world are on the rise, and we spend a lot of money on prescription medications, which come with a lot of side effects. On the other hand, the younger generations are increasingly pursuing healthier lifestyles, and hence a record number of people are seeking alternative medicines such as functional foods and dietary supplements. Especially now, after this pandemic, more and more consumers are seeking natural therapies and for immune health as well as for mental health. But soon it gets very confusing for these consumers. They often don't know what products to buy because there are too many brands and they don't know if these products work or if they're even safe. And then there are fundamental problems in this industry. First of all, hardly any science is used in product development. Second, the ingredients are not standardized, so there are a lot of batch effects with regards to biological effects and safety. Third, and this is from a business perspective, there is no product differentiation. And because of that, companies end up spending a lot more money on marketing than on science. And sometimes this tarnishes the whole industry. Phenomics is providing an all-in-one solution called the Product Superiority Platform to tackle all of these challenges for this $300 billion industry. Phenomics can test the biological effects of the ingredients all the way down to their effect on human genes. No other company offers this level of in-depth understanding of ingredient quality. These ingredients could be anything that could be used in functional drinks, foods, dietary supplements, or even skincare. We have two use cases for our platform. First is the ingredient certification. So using genomics and AI on the back end, Phenomics is benchmarking the biological or the gene effects of ingredients. We can then test our customer samples and then compare it against the benchmark that we have developed and provide a comprehensive report to our customers, including how their product affects human genes. Phenomics is set to launch its first certification test for CBD later this year. And then the second use case is for evaluating single or multi-ingredient formulations for their effects, again for their biological effect. This comprehensive service is actually tailored or customized for individual customers. And in fact, with COVID-19, our company is getting a lot of inbound where companies want to test their products again for tackling COVID-19 related challenges. We are creating a lot of value for our customers. Our customers have a clear advantage. First of all, they have peace of mind with regards to the quality and the safety of their products. And then we are helping our customers save on their R&D costs and save time. Their product development cycles have become efficient. We are helping them mitigate compliance risk, and now they can demand premium pricing for their products. But most importantly, we are providing our customers an easy path to science-backed differentiated products and thereby making their consumers happy. We already count multinational companies, nutrition and dietary supplement companies as our clients that have provided us with a steady stream of revenues. We would love to conduct proof of concept projects with you and also maybe form strategic partnerships for our ingredient certification platform. We are growing Phenomics, and for that purpose, we are looking to fundraise up to $2 million for our seed round. And then you may ask us why you should partner with us. We are a team of successful Harvard physicians and scientists who have solved big healthcare challenges for decades. So if you want to make a difference in your customer's life by developing products using cutting-edge technology with highest scientific and ethical integrity, come talk to us. And finally, if you want to be at the forefront of this genomic revolution, come talk to us, because we know your customers are looking for that, and therefore you should too. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lena. So let's jump into some questions that we have from the audience. So what kind of trials do you run? Is it in vitro, in vivo, in human studies?
Yes, good question. We are doing all of it. We are actually in the midst of doing a human trial where our customer has collected samples from their own clinical trial and they're sending it to us. But we are also doing a lot of in vitro work from arthritis studies to products in GI space. So all of it, yes.
Got it. And currently, I believe your platform is B2B. Do you have any future plans on maybe rolling this out to the B2C market? There might be some interesting consumer insights and interest in understanding how ingredients affect our personal health.
Yes, excellent question. We are in fact in the B2B to C space. And we are actually in the midst of also creating a lot of content for that purpose, because our customers are companies who have consumers as their customers. So, but we still have to educate the end consumer. And exactly as you said, we have to create a lot of content to educate the end consumer about all of these issues.
Got it. And do you have maybe any specific case studies that you can share? How did your insights affect the outcome?
Yes, so I can give you one or two examples. In one case, there was a company who was trying to come up with a new extraction method for their herbal ingredient, and they wanted to compare, their previous extraction versus the new extraction. So in addition to giving data about how their product now affects human genes, that data was also used to give them insight about what other indications they could use that product for. So they already had this product in the market. And in addition to finding out an easier way of attraction, they were also now going to market it for another indication. In another case, we evaluated a product from a company that was using about 17 different ingredients in one product. And we helped them narrow down the ingredients that were the most useful. in terms of their effect and also the quality of the ingredients as well.
Great, wonderful. Thank you so much, Lena.
Thank you.
And we'll move on to the next company.
Amazing presentation. Thank you so much, Lena. That was Phenomics, everyone. Next presenter is Tim from Symporter, an AI platform that predicts sales for new products before they hit the market.
Hi, I'm Tim Hall, co-founder and CEO of Symporter. Our AI software predicts consumer demand so brands and retailers can recover from this very tough marketplace we're in. There's a lack of transparency for consumer demand, and we see this with new product failures. 94% of all new products fail. This has gotten a lot worse with COVID. Of course, we're all familiar with panic shopping and the supply chain disruption. And when you take it all together, historical benchmarking is no longer a valid way to predict consumer behavior. We get transparency from big data, and we look at 4 major data sets to get our predictions. First, we run our own consumer surveys every 2 weeks. Then we collect data directly from Nielsen's point of sale information. We have a partnership with Nielsen so we can get this information automatically. We collect data from social media posts by consumers, as well as product reviews on e-commerce sites, and we run natural language processing to separate the signals from all the noise. When we examine all 4 of these data sets together, we are able to predict at an SKU level any product even before it's launched. Brands and retailers using Symporter increased revenue 22%. And here you can see some of our partners below. Symporter's AI will tell you what products do consumers want, where will they buy them from, and how many units will they buy. This is particularly important right now if you're looking at migrating a lot of your volume from brick and mortar to e-commerce platforms. It's a unique tool for brands and retailers in that we're not relying on historical panel data or historical benchmarking, but rather we're using machine learning on all these new contemporaneous big data sets. A couple of use cases I wanted to share. This is a white space exploratory that Church & Dwight conducted using our software. They were looking for new category opportunities to bring fabric care, bring into fabric care. And so the software examined both the category's unmet needs as well as opportunities from adjacent categories like skincare. They were able to identify 22 different areas where they needed to do further concept development to go exploit these opportunities among consumers. Another use case is with concept validation, and this was with Unilever. They were launching these new one skillet dinners to compete with the home meal kits like Blue Apron. And they wanted to have the traditional purchase intent and uniqueness measures, which this accomplished. But it also predicted the sales volume, and that showed Unilever something kind of different. The product was not predicted to meet Unilever's sales needs, their sales requirements for this. They got that read early by using Symporter, and that let them cut the marketing budget and push it to other brands, and then take the time to retool this offering. So instead of losing money, they're able to read and react and market faster. Calvin Klein is a partner of ours. We met them at Plug and Play last year, and here they wanted to read and react faster as well for a new product launch that was hitting the market. What's unique here is we had 95% accuracy of our forecast compared to what actually happened, and we're able to give them this data by retailer so they could really adjust their distribution patterns accordingly. Our co-founders in this team are uniquely qualified to grow the company. I came out of the consumer products side. I spent 20 years on your side of the business. And then my co-founder Dylan came out of the technology side. And we're supported with 15 data scientists and programmers in our R&D headquarters in Ukraine. Today, we're not raising any capital. We completed a seed round last year, and we'll look to a Series A round next year. And if you're interested in that, please send me an email, and we'll put you on our investor newsletter. But right now, what we're trying to do is help CPG brands and retailers to navigate this really tough marketplace. If there's one thing I would like you to remember is Symporter can do a pilot with you very quickly and give you actionable data that you can use to get through this really tough period. I'm Tim with Symporter, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Tim. I really enjoyed the personalized music that you had with your pitch. I'm sure everybody is vibing right now at home. So maybe you can describe any differences in use cases or any applications that you have, especially with the shift in the landscape with COVID-19 and the coronavirus.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. So if you think about the models, most of them look backwards and usually look back 12 months or 24 months to predict what the future demand is going to look like. But we're able to look forwards and just kind of start with March or April when the marketplace completely turned upside down, because we collect so much data that's contemporaneous. It's coming from social media, it's coming from our panel, it's coming from e-commerce reviews that have been put in place since April, since everybody's changed their patterns. So by doing that, we get much more data and get much more granular understanding of what's going to happen in the marketplace. And the traditional ways that look backwards just do not work today, as anybody who's in this field knows right now.
Got it. And can you predict demand in the food service market?
Yeah, as long as it has a consumer angle to it, yeah, we can predict demand that would relate to any particular channel.
But most of your applications, I think, rely on the retail sector.
Yeah, we need sales data. So in food service, for example, as long as we had sales data that we could look back at, we could do the same applications. But in terms of our automation right now, we're automated with retail channel with like Nielsen.
Got it. So that's it for the questions. So if anyone has any extra questions, feel free to still ask them. Tim can still answer them live in the chat box. Actually, there's one more question that just came in. Which ML machine learning models do you use for forecasting?
We use 3 different machine learning models, which are all proprietary that we developed. The one that people would probably be familiar with is the Facebook Profit version, which we use to speed up some of the cycle time. But the other iterative stuff is our own models.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Tim and Symporter. And we'll move on to the next company.
Thank you so much, Tim. Everyone, that was Symporter. Our next presenter is Kareem from VastBiome, and they're solving medicine's toughest needs by unlocking the power of the human gut microbiome.
Hi, my name is Kareem Barghouti, co-founder and CEO of VastBiome. We are mining the microbiome for novel therapeutics and potential biomarkers. The microbiome, the gut bacteria that lives in and on us. In recent years, there's been great publications showing how these microbes are influencing human health for the better or for the worse. The challenge with this space is that we still don't understand exactly how these microbes operate and how they're driving human outcomes, health outcomes. And that's where VastBiome comes in. We're trying to reverse engineer what we call the microbial factory. We start off with clinical data that we've gathered from our clinical research partners, including their blood samples, stool samples, and the metadata of these patients. We then run it through our bioinformatics pipeline to start mapping out and put together a contextual layer of how these key genes of these microbes are potentially driving some type of immune response in humans. Once we have our bioinformatics pipeline validated, we then will actually run through our data science and AI engine to predict a prioritized list of genes that may be driving human response to some type of disease. In this case, after we've created our list, we will then actually go through the wet lab portion and to start screening these different genes to see whether or not we have identified a molecule that's produced by those genes that is driving some type of health outcome. At that point, we have created a list of potential molecules that can be used for various applications. In this example, we're looking at therapeutic opportunities, but this can also be applied to foods and different supplemental development products. The vision for VastBiome is that we're trying to identify specific genes within those microbes that are driving human response. At this point, 95% of the genetic makeup of these microbes are considered dark matter. We have no idea what they make and how they operate. And we want to develop this map for every single type of disease, as well as different nutritional supplements to enable patients and consumers to live a healthier lifestyle. The market opportunity is quite vast. We are starting with the immuno-oncology and the digestive space, trying to help our partners who are trying to develop these therapeutics and these nutritional supplements to support them in advancing their products into the market. But our technology is disease and industry agnostic. We can actually use it for various opportunities, including the medical food space and supplement formulation, which is what we're here for today to look into. The business model opportunity stands in creating a number of different ways to apply it, our technology, whether we're exploring with our partners in terms of looking for new insights of how the microbiome influences health, but also our platform, we can make discoveries together that our pharmaceutical or our nutritional companies' partnerships can advance into the market. These are just good examples of how others have done very well in being successful in setting up these collaborations. We are currently focused in the immuno-oncology space, as I mentioned, with some progress in identifying key different molecules that could become potential therapies, which we're further investigating. And the team makeup is made of a group of individuals with complementary backgrounds in health, science, computer science, and business, with a variety of advisors who have expertise in the synthetic biology to drug discovery to computational biology. We've been part of Illumina Accelerator and a few other groups, including Texas Medical Center, who support our efforts. At this stage, we have a number of different partnerships that are about to move forward into their pilot stage, where we are supporting using our technology to identify novel compounds or insights that can enable the R&D product development process. And we're here today to find out if anyone's interested to learn more. So please come talk to us. My name is Kareem Barghouti, co-founder of VastBiome. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kareem. So do you have any case studies done in the nutrition space? What is the estimated length of customer projects, and what is the probability of success?
Yeah, so we, in particular for nutrition, we do not have an example of a case study, but the application of how we go about our process does not vary depending on whatever product you're trying to develop. So it still comes to a very similar process, which we can discuss. In terms of estimated length of a customer project, they're as short as 3 months, and they could be upwards of a year, depending on what exactly they want to accomplish with us. So it really varies depending on the questions that our customers are asking for.
Got it. And how do you typically work with a corporate partner?
So again, it's customized based on their needs. So some groups are asking us, we want you to help us identify the key ingredients in these microbial signatures that are driving some type of health outcome. So we can provide them the analysis. We can even do the sequencing of the microbes to help them basically get the key signatures identified. And then we'll run some of the lab work to test on whether or not our hypotheses are validated, which will then provide those insights to our partner to use for their own development efforts. Or they can come to us and saying, hey, we already have a product and we want you to help us validate whether this is actually something that could work in humans and drive some type of outcome, of health outcome. And so there's a few different ways we can identify biomarkers that are driving a response that they're looking for, or if it's not necessarily a valid product that could be substantial for a large scale group of audience of customers, patients or consumers.
Got it. So you can help essentially add validation or, validate an effect on the microbiome from a specific food product.
Yeah, we can help develop the new foods or tell them what exactly in their foods are driving some type of health outcome.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Kareem and VastBiome. And we'll move on to the next company. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much.
Another amazing presentation. Thank you so much, Kareem. Everyone, that was VastBiome. Next, we have Ricardo from Fibervita, a multifunctional ingredient system that adds healthiness and better yield to final food products.
Hello, everybody. This is Ricardo Schindler from Brazil. I am the co-founder of Fibervita.com. We are in the healthy food ingredient segment for healthy people. Our company was born from the need to bring to the global processed food market an innovative food ingredient which should be not only multifunctional, meaning it should act just like a binding, emulsifying, homogenizing, and thickening agent, among others. It also should be versatile, meaning it could be used in any given processed food formulation out there available in the market. And it should be healthy, meaning not only as a source of fiber and smart carbs, but it should also meet the most important global food trends, being not only GM-free, but also vegan-friendly, allergen-free, gluten-free, and clean label. Our main target markets are the fiber-rich foods industry, the plant-based segment, the clean label food formulations, and the low-calorie industry, not only with low sugar, but also low-fat and low-starch food formulations. Raw material source, this is the key ingredient which makes us so unique. During the milling process of tapioca starch, we have two products left, the tapioca starch itself and the cassava pulp. The cassava pulp, you can just throw it away or give it to the low-end market like the animal feed industry, fertigation, and second-generation bioethanol. Or you can just go to the high-end market, just like what we did. We basically collect the raw material called tapioca fiber from the local starch suppliers. We refine, reprocess, and make it into a very premium-grade food ingredient. So, but we need to understand that the global food market size is as big as $4.6 trillion. And in 2017, a $1 trillion was made in healthier food products just in order to meet the global health food demand. And that market will reach a $1.2 trillion in 4 years' time. So what solution we bring out? The basic idea here is to replace not only starches, but also in-number food additives in order to contribute to the four most important global food revolutions. We're talking about the plant-based revolution, the clean label revolution, the low-calorie foods revolution, which includes sugar reduction industry, and the fiber-rich foods. And as you can see, all these segments represent a huge global growth rates, very strong global growth rates, from 6 to 15% annual growth rates, and also strong revenues. So our business model is quite simple. We collect a byproduct called tapioca pulp from local starch suppliers. We refine, we reprocess it into a high value added food ingredient. We have invested so far $4.75 million in our project, mostly coming from a local public bank, $3 million, and $1.7 million from shareholders like myself. We have a production capacity of 500 metric tons per month. We can employ up to 3 employees per shift. Our break-even point is 70 metric tons per month only. Our current sales volume is around 25 metric tons per month. This is a B2B business. We directly approach global food ingredient suppliers by offering them a premium food ingredient at a competitive price. We have an in-house sales team of 2 persons only, and we have chosen the synthetic sales growth by taking advantage of using our own customers' technical sales team. Our revenue expectation for this year is around $11.8 million, with profits being around $8 million. And we expend only $18,000 per month to run our business. Our production cost is quite low. It's around 63 cents of a dollar per kg, against a selling price of $1.98 per kg. These are some of the existing customers' portfolio from the veggie burger, for instance. We have the ADM, JBS, DuPont, and Duas Rodas, which is the Brazilian largest ingredient supplier. We have grown from June, July 2017 until December 2019, more than 650%. The idea is to grow by more than 7,000% this year, not only supplying food ingredients to the clean label and plant-based and fiber-rich food, but also to the low-calorie foods, and existing customers like Kemi, which is an American company, and current customers. We are making available 15% of the company for $3 million US. That resource will be allocated to R&D and innovation, operating capital, machines and equipment, and so on. The return on investment is around 30 months or 3.5 years. We have a very small in-house sales team. One of them is myself. I was responsible for mechanizing the tapioca fiber making process. And we have invited a food engineer, his name is Mr. Lima. Mr. Lima is helping us to prospect our products worldwide. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ricardo. So let's jump into a question from the audience. So how is your product labeled?
They could be labeled as a tapioca flour or tapioca starch or even dietary fiber.
Got it. And what differentiates your product from other tapioca fibers and other tapioca flours that are already on the market?
This is actually not a tapioca flour, which people call it tapioca flour. Our product has a much higher fiber content. When you talk about tapioca flour, they have no more than 2-3% fiber content. We can reach up to 55-60% fiber content, which is completely different.
Got it. And what applications are you selling your product into?
Oh, for all kind of food applications like veggie burger application, gravy, sauces, ice cream, beer application, bakery, processed meat application, even for meat emulsions in order to replace TSP, starches, phosphates.
Got it. And what are maybe some examples or use cases that your product is used in?
Currently, our product is approved at AGM for veggie burger and meatballs, and JBS, which is the global largest protein supplier. It is approved for clean label meat emulsions, and for several local bakery industries to replace other fibers and tapioca starch itself.
Got it. And is your ingredient water soluble?
Partially water soluble, partially. It should be, it has to be pre-cooked, pre-hydrated before adding to the processed food products.
Got it. Thank you so much, Ricardo and Fibervita.
All the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you. And we'll move on to the next company.
Everyone, that was Fibervita. Thank you so much, Ricardo. And now we're on to our very last startup pitch of the day. Let's give it up for Kevin from Crop Enhancement. They're building a new approach that will help farmers increase crop yields and profitability in a sustainable way.
Hi, everyone. This is Kevin Chen. I'm the CEO of Crop Enhancement. Our mission is to help growers around the world increase production of safe, sustainable, and organic crops. We do that by controlling the plant surface. As growers cultivate their crops, they faced a host of issues ranging from insect and pest disease to drought and sunburn. Most of this occurs at the surfaces of plants, the leaves, the stems, the fruit. We believe that by controlling these surfaces, we can help growers face these issues. We do that by using innovative plant-based materials to protect these surfaces with thin films. Let me give you an example of our first product, which is called Crop Coat. This is a container of concentrated crop coat that is being shipped around the world for field testing. Growers take this, dilute it in their existing spray systems, and then apply this product to their plants. The following video shows an example of crop coat in use at a commercial orchard. Let's take a look. Here, a grower is spraying crop coat onto a cocoa tree, and then there's a close-up of him rubbing off that thin film that's been deposited. In our cocoa trials, as an example, we're seeing double-digit yield increases when using crop coat instead of using synthetic toxic pesticides. The way this works is going to be shown in the following video. This is a time-lapse video of insects attempting to feed on plants. On the left-hand side is an untreated cabbage leaf. On the right-hand side is a leaf that's been sprayed by crop coat. Over the course of just a couple of days, we see that insects are unable to multiply when there's a crop coat film sprayed on the plant. This is how the product works. It helps to control the population of insects. We're targeting high-value specialty crops, crops such as coffee, tree nuts, cocoa, and familiar fruit and vegetables that we find in the grocery store. This is a huge market. We calculate it as about $7 billion. And we're targeting these crops grown not only in the US, but in Europe, Latin America, and Asia. I'm happy to say that we're working with over a dozen strategic partners to evaluate our product in order to down select to a select few that will distribute our product in different parts of the world. We've got a great team. Our core team consists of talented, experienced executives from the food and ag industry. And we have an amazing advisory board consisting of veterans from the agriculture industry. We couldn't be more happy about that. We are funded by venture capital. This is the list of our ag tech and advanced materials partners who have been extremely supportive in funding the company. Finally, in conclusion, we thank you for the opportunity to present, and we look forward to opportunities to partner with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kevin. So let's jump into some questions from the audience. Have you tested your product on citrus as a means to stop citrus greening?
We've done some initial testing on citrus, and it's one of those challenging problems that nobody's been able to find a solution to. So we'll keep our fingers crossed on that. Nothing to report at this point.
Got it. And what is your coating material? Is it a polymer, and how long does the effect last?
So it is a widely available, commercially sourced plant extract, but it's never been used in agriculture for this purpose. So that's where the IP is. I can't talk about the specifics of it, but if anybody wants to follow up, we can certainly discuss. It lasts up to, we've measured up to about 8 to 10 weeks in tropical environments, which is much, much longer than anything else. Typically, other products last for maybe 2 to 3 days, maximum 1 week. So it's a huge labor savings for growers with that type of residual.
Got it. And in your video, how often was the plant recovered with crop coat?
I'm not sure I fully understand that. How often was the plant recovered? Well, we sprayed, oftentimes in various crops, we spray 1, 2, 3 times per season. And there's no impact to the plant health, if that is the question.
Got it. And does it prevent any ants for cutting into the leaves?
We haven't tested on ants, but what it does is it basically displaces nutrients that an insect would normally need to survive. And so they basically don't grow as well, and they end up dying off, and the population doesn't multiply. So that's how we actually control the population of insects. And by doing that, you are protecting the plant and helping the plant grow better.
Got it. Thank you so much, Kevin and Crop Enhancement. And we'll move on to closing remarks.
What a great finish to our startup pitch session. Thank you so much, Kevin. Everyone, that was Crop Enhancement, our last startup pitch of the day. And that concludes our startup pitch session of our Food Batch 7 Spring Summit. Thank you all so much for joining us today. We really hope you enjoyed it. And now I'd like to give the stage back to Brian for our closing remarks.
Let's see. Hi, everyone. Hopefully you can see me. I'll be brief, but yeah, thanks again for joining us today, and big shout out to the startups who participated. Everyone did an amazing job preparing for this and pivoting for this virtual session. So we would like to recognize 2 startups who had a particularly great traction with us. If you go to the next slide. Okay, thank you. I remember meeting Plantible during our selection day event at the beginning of our program, and knew they'd be a big hit. They have a great product. I'm really excited to see where they go. They've had 5 deal flows with our partners. They already have a working POC and have already raised several $1 million. So congratulations on all the success just in the past couple of months. Also, Flavor Labs, they have an amazing story and had amazing engagement with our program. They also hosted a great, very relevant crisis management webinar with us. So really appreciate everything both your teams have done. And we can go to the next slide. So thanks everyone again for joining. Thanks everyone for participating. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly or any of my team. And we'd love to get you involved with all the upcoming events that we have in our headquarters in Fargo and Chicago and any other locations abroad. So see you next time, and stay safe, and hopefully we'll see you guys in person soon.